Recent price appreciation has got many in the market very excited, but we're yet to see if the signals, particularly through China, which precipitated this price rally, are to actually eventuate in terms of impacting the fundamentals. It's certainly great to see the price appreciation, but it's a little bit early to call a major shift in the market at this time.
Why is China moving to address supply issues now?
Well, what we've heard through what's been reported is China is looking at a number of assets and looking at the approvals of those assets. So when we take that on face value, it's around environmental approvals and so on and so forth. So that appears to be what the sort of the basis of the change and the basis of the potential supply chain curtailments they're making. Of course, there's other speculation that perhaps there's another strategy at play, but we're yet to see any evidence of that.
Is that other strategy possibly China looking to shore up its own critical minerals supply chain?
Look, it's hard to say. Look, China's positioning is very strong in terms of critical minerals. As it relates to lithium, they of course have their own domestic supply, but they of course import as well from suppliers, including the likes of PLS. But beyond that, they've built out an incredible industrial base for EVs and so on and so forth, which of course is serving the world. So there's of course a broad strategy underway, and I guess we'll find out in time.
Does the fact that China wields so much power in terms of the market demonstrate the value of a critical minerals strategic reserve as proposed by the federal government before the election?
Well, I think as it relates to critical minerals, I think everyone agrees it's a big part of the industrial future in terms of what it enables, the technology, the renewable energy shift, so on and so forth. So because of that, many governments are thinking about supply chain security and how to promote these very necessary industries for a brighter future. So what we're seeing through that is many different strategies being deployed, not only through China but elsewhere and abroad. And it's very much sort of taking flight live in front of us. So we watch with interest.
Should lithium be included in that reserve?
Well, as it relates to critical minerals, of course, lithium is one of the critical minerals. As it relates to the strategic reserve that the government has been talking about, we're yet to see the details around that. But we are, of course, very open to the engagement, and we're looking forward to understanding how they see that working. Now, once we understand that, then we'll be in a position to understand, is lithium best served through this vehicle or not for Australia?
But why wouldn't it be? Do you hold concerns that it might create an artificial spike in demand that could see some operations go bust?
Well, the devil's in the detail with all of these things, but certainly the mechanics are important, and understanding if there's any unintended consequences like the one you just described. There's also a scale factor. These commodities and these industries, $1 billion or so does not go very far, particularly if there's many different mineral types involved. So yes, we're yet to see the details, and the details are very much important to understand if the regime will be successful.
And so it is just too early to ask whether you've been thinking about whether that reserve should include lithium or whether it should have battery-ready chemicals?
It's too early to form a view. As I mentioned, the details are really key to understand how it would function and how it would best support the industry, not only in the short term but the long term.
Is it clear what impact US tariffs are now having on electric vehicle and battery manufacturing sectors, and in turn the demand for lithium?
Yeah, as it relates to the US's changes for EVs, yes, there's been some direct changes made which appear to perhaps dampen some of the growth rates, but the growth rates are actually still very strong as it relates to the US. As it relates to further upstream and the likes of lithium, is there an impact? Maybe, but probably indirectly. But to be honest, so far we haven't seen much impact at all. If you step back and look at global EV adoption rates and mass energy adoption rates, they're incredible. And in fact, it's a step up on last year. So We sort of look at sort of the macro picture, global picture is actually far more important to us than any particular country, whether it's the US or otherwise.
So just too early to assess the full implications from tariffs as they pertain to the demand for lithium?
Yes, I think it is too early to understand the implications of those changes. But I also think the other thing to pay attention to is EVs themselves and other lithium product types. Well, they're being adopted strongly without subsidies in many other parts of the world, and I think that that's actually part of offsetting potentially some of these subsidy changes. So both things are happening at the same time. So yes, I think we need more time to see how it plays out.
What does this all mean for Pilbara Minerals' strategy, and how is the company planning to take advantage of rising prices?
Well, PLS, we're in a very strong position in that we've got a scale operation, a low-cost operation, and a strong balance sheet. So we're set up for the long term and looking to be a mainstay of this industry for many years and hopefully decades to come. So we feel we're in a very strong position and looking forward to seeing pricing ultimately move out of this part of the cycle.
Other miners are going to want to take this opportunity too, I suppose. Where do you see the price in 6 months and 12 months from now?
I don't. My crystal ball is not with me today. I don't try to predict the price, but I can tell with some confidence that, when you look in the rearview mirror, pricing has been far below the cost base for most of the industry for an extended period of time now. So it's looking more probable than not that we'll continue to see price appreciation. But it's a very volatile industry, so we'll all watch with interest.
Do you expect prices to return to those dizzying heights from a couple of years ago?
Anything is possible in the lithium industry, given it's such a young, nascent industry coming from a very small base. We've seen very high prices and very low prices when we look in the rearview mirror. Now, I have not seen anything change which will disrupt that pattern, and I don't think it will change until such time that the industry has more scale and has more efficient trading mechanisms, which are not yet here today.
A final question to you about the big conversation underway about economic reform. What is your view on the Productivity Commission's recommendation for a cash flow tax on Australia's biggest companies?
I'm aware that, there's been some proposals floated. I haven't been taken through the detail as yet. As it relates to the substance of those changes, if they derive more productivity and create a landscape which enables businesses to be more successful, well, of course we're supportive of that. But as I say, I haven't had a chance to be taken through the details of those proposals.
Do you understand PLS would be one of the companies affected, and would it require Pilbara to spend more in terms of investment to qualify for the cash flow tax discount?
Well, as I say, I'm not familiar with the details of the proposal as yet, but look forward to reviewing in due course.
Dale Henderson, thanks for joining me.
Thank you very much.